Hi everyone, it's Sarah Todd. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is on a serious topic. We're going to be talking about why parents need to stop posting their disabled children on social media. This has become a huge problem, and as a disabled person myself who became disabled as a child, I was 8 years old, now I'm 24. I'm very passionate about this topic, so let's just get right on into it. I see pages focused on disabled children all the time. They come across my For You page on TikTok. They come across my Instagram Reels on Instagram. They're everywhere, and every time I see those pages, I just feel such a rage inside my body. And we're going to chat about why. The parents who run these pages often share very private, intimate moments featuring their disabled child, and they will often share their child's private medical information with their followers or anyone who just happens to see their content across their Explore For You page. And these parents will take this very far, to the point of sharing extremely intimate moments like bath time, getting them dressed, getting them undressed, doing a diaper change, brushing their teeth before and after a child's surgery, during their child's doctor appointment. Like, it is just ridiculous, the amount of very private, personal information that these parents happily and freely share on the internet. It is not their information to share because it is all about their disabled child, and then they're profiting off of it because most of these accounts make money. So then we're getting into the territory of exploitation, okay? And a lot of people will say that it doesn't matter that they're exploiting their child because they're likely using that money to pay for their child's medical bills. We don't know if that's the case or not. And even if it is the case, exploitation is never okay. Exploiting your child to pay their medical bills is not the answer, all right? So the other day I was scrolling on my TikTok For You page and I came across this video. It was this mom who was showing her getting ready to change her 12-year-old disabled child's diaper. And Hard Knock Life from the musical Annie was playing in the background. And she basically just kind of puts her child on the bed and in a very annoyed looking manner gets a diaper out and starts to prepare the diaper for the change. The whole vibe of this video just did not sit right with me. The text on the video says, if you're not dealing with diapers 12 years in, then we are having totally different parenting experiences. All right, let's chat about it. Clearly, this parent is experiencing challenges as a caregiver. She's frustrated, she's angry. She's allowed to feel however she wants to feel about her caregiving experience. Caregiving is difficult. That's reality. It's challenging, all right? What's not okay is posting your disabled child's private moments, them getting ready for a diaper change, especially given that that child is 12. So they are a tween, they are not a baby, and this moment will be on the internet forever. The internet is forever, and this child may not like the fact that the whole world now knows that he is having his diapers changed at age 12. That could be an embarrassing moment for him because his right to privacy has been violated by his parent, okay? And the whole tone of the video with, the frustration and the annoyance, while valid emotions, they end up creating a space where in the comment section, then the conversation kind of gears towards bashing disabled people rather than just expressing feelings and ranting. And a lot of those emotions should really be dealt with like in private with a trusted family member, a trusted friend, or with a therapist or a counselor, not in this very open, public, online forum. Because what videos like these do is they send this message to people that's like, having a disabled kid is so hard that this child is a burden on me. Like, changing diapers is a burden to me. And so people are gonna watch that video and then they're gonna become scared of the possibility of this being their reality if it's not their reality already. So parents who run these accounts love to say that they're doing this to raise awareness. They love to kind of hide behind that raising awareness label when they may be raising awareness, but it's not positive awareness, it's negative awareness. Because now the viewers watching this video are gonna be like, oh, wow, if I have a child and they're disabled, I could be changing their diapers even when that kid is 12, and I don't want that to be me. So it really does so much more harm than good. And there are ways that the caregiver perspective can be shared in an appropriate way, because caregivers do have a perspective that deserves to be heard and it should be valued. A lot of caregivers or parents of disabled children will say that they don't want to hide their disabled child away, that they want to raise this awareness, and they think if they hide their child away that does harm, because then people aren't seeing the disabled child. Hiding your disabled child away would be like keeping them in an institution or keeping them at home all the time. Like, obviously, you should take your disabled child to the grocery store if you think that's good for them and you. You should have them in school if that's something that works for them. You should take them to their doctor appointments. You should allow them to socialize, like if they're able to play with other kids at the playground, like whatever that looks like for the family and for the child, that's great. They're not being hidden away then. But no child, disabled or not, should have their private, intimate moments and personal medical information blasted on the internet for all to see, because it is a violation of their right to privacy and informed consent. If a caregiver really wants to share their perspective, they absolutely can do so. And I think a great way to do that would be doing kind of what I'm doing here, sitting down face to face with the camera, just chatting, talking about what they want to share. That is such an okay conversation to have, as long as it's not veering into this territory of bashing a disabled child or creating this aura of shame around being disabled. All of that being said, awareness can be raised in an appropriate way. Most people, like me, when we have this conversation, we're not saying don't share your perspective, don't talk about your disabled child. We're not saying that at all. We're just saying that there are appropriate ways for that to be done and very inappropriate ways for that to be done. Another really big issue with these accounts that are run by parents of disabled children that focus solely on sharing the disabled child's private information and doing it under the guise of raising awareness is that these accounts often gain so many followers, like tons of followers, and those followers become very loyal to that parent and to that child, and they develop a very odd parasocial relationship with the parent and the child, and it's very unhealthy. And a lot of these followers seem to think that they are allies to the disability community because they follow an account or accounts like this. But in actuality, in practice, they are ableist. And I've witnessed this firsthand because I've received comments from people who follow accounts that are run by parent of disabled child. And the comments on my page left by these people are ableist so often. And I'll just give you one example because this is a recent example that I dealt with. I posted a video of me attempting to open a door to a classroom at my college, and I wasn't able to open the door because of my disability. So I posted the video talking about the inaccessible door. Okay, so we can just watch that video real quick so that y'all can have that context.
Since I'm physically disabled, I went to check out the accessibility of my classes at college before they begin. This is a prime example of accessibility obstacles disabled people face in our daily lives.
So that was the video. And that video received this comment from this person. They said, "You should follow Team AMC Anna. She is a 10-year-old with AMC, and let me tell you, she tries everything and is always doing things, makes things work, and never complains or acts like everything should work for her. She doesn't ask for special treatment and is just happy to be alive. Just a thought." So clearly this comment is from somebody who follows that page. I had heard of the page. I looked it up once again after receiving this comment to see what types of things were posted there. It is a page run by a parent of a disabled child. The child is 10 years old and has a condition called AMC. And this commenter clearly follows that page and then saw my content and for some reason got very annoyed that I was pointing out an inaccessible door, and in a snarky, sarcastic way left this comment basically telling me that I shouldn't complain and I should just be happy to be alive. So this person likely thinks that they're an ally to disabled people because they follow that page and they're supporting that parent and that child. But meanwhile, they're on the page of an actual disabled person, me, leaving a hateful comment. And so there just becomes this pattern where people who follow those pages, and a lot of the time, the people who run the pages, the parents, don't want to listen to actual disabled people. They're all for disability rights and caring about disabled people until an actual disabled person says something, points something out, and then they don't want to listen and they want to argue and they want to bash. This is just a recent example, but I've had it happen to me multiple times. A big example is, gosh, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago now, I had posted a video talking about this account I saw on TikTok. And this is actually an interesting case because this was not a disabled child. This was a disabled adult. I believe this man is around 50 years old and his caregiver is his sister. And she was showing extremely personal moments of his life, showing her shaving his face, brushing his teeth, getting dressed, just highly inappropriate things to be sharing, especially actually when this person is a grown man, because that's like almost even more embarrassing for him. I posted a video talking about why this is wrong, and the caregiver saw the video and got very upset and made like an 11-minute response video to me, and then her followers came onto my page and were leaving horrible comments about me, and it was just very shocking to me actually, because I was like, okay, so clearly these followers think they support disabled people because they're following this page that is all about disability awareness. But when me, an actual disabled person, raises an issue with that page, they don't want to listen to me. They want to listen to the caregiver. So it's always easy for the non-disabled audience to put themselves in the shoes of the caregiver rather than the disabled person. They have more empathy for the caregiver rather than the disabled person. It's very backwards. I think it's easier for them to put themselves in the shoes of the non-disabled person, of the caregiver, because they kind of see themselves as more likely to end up in that situation, which is interesting because they could end up in either situation. They could become disabled, they could become a caregiver, like either of those things could happen, but they are way more sympathetic and empathetic to the caregiver or the parent rather than the actual disabled person. So it really just shows you like, okay, if the goal really is trying to raise awareness, if it's trying to create a more inclusive world, who is actually becoming more inclusive? Because these pages seem to generate a crowd, a following, an audience who really doesn't want to listen to disabled people. And it's a problem. It's very frustrating. So that example from a few years ago, like I said, was an account sharing a disabled grown man's personal, intimate moments and private medical info. And even though he's not a child, it is still wrong because that man's disability seems to, and likely does, affect his ability to provide informed consent. And so these parents or these caregivers, they can say that their child or their family member loves being on camera and really enjoys it, but they don't know that for sure, for one thing. And okay, maybe the disabled child or the disabled family member does seem to enjoy being on camera, but if they're not able to provide informed consent, it shouldn't be the main focus of the content. They can say, oh yeah, I want to be in this video. I love being on social media. Like if they're able to say that, they can say that, but that doesn't mean that they understand that the internet is forever, that a ton of strangers, thousands or maybe even millions of strangers are seeing these moments of their life. They don't understand that there might be creepy people seeing these moments, that there could be mean people, that they could be bullied. They might not understand any of that. If they're a child, they can't provide informed consent. If their disability impacts their ability to do that, they can't provide informed consent. So it's not right. It's exploitation. So yeah, it's just very interesting to me that the excuse is always raising awareness when the audience that follows parents of disabled children or caregivers doesn't want to listen to actual disabled people like me. And my audience is going to be quite different from the audience who follows those pages because my audience is mostly going to be actual disabled people, or it's going to be people who just like want to learn more about disability and maybe don't actually have like a personal connection to it. Whereas the people who follow parents of disabled kids or caregivers of disabled people are more likely to be people who are caregivers for a disabled child or a disabled person, or who maybe have like a disabled family member. So it's just a very different audience, and I don't think it should have to be that way. I really think that disabled people like myself should be able to share our lives, our stories, and that caregivers and parents of disabled children should be able to share their perspectives and have us be able to coexist and have it not be so divided, because it's really not helpful. But with the state of social media, people being able to earn so much money on social media, I don't see this problem going away anytime soon, and it's so disheartening. But what we can do is keep talking about it and keep calling out the parents and the caregivers that are exploiting their disabled children or their disabled loved ones. Oh yeah, heavy topic for today's video, but it's something I'm super passionate about, and I hope that came through in my discussion of this today. I am sure if this video reaches some disability parents, they will probably get upset with me, but I know that I am right, that children, whether they're disabled or not, deserve their right to privacy and informed consent, and so do all disabled people and all people. Everybody deserves that. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos from me. I am so thankful for all your support, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.